So today we are going to start with the second chapter, that is electrostatic potential and capacitance. So as you can see in the name of the chapter, we have electrostatic. That means what? Even this chapter is based on the branch of physics which is electrostatics. That is, we are going to deal with the charges that are at rest. So we are going to learn this chapter in two parts. The first part, we are going to learn what do you mean by electrostatic potential, and the second half we are going to learn what is capacitance. So to start with this, the first part, that is electrostatic potential. To understand what is this electrostatic potential, first we need to know what do we understand by electrostatic potential energy. So let us understand what is electrostatic potential energy. Now we know that potential energy is the stored energy, the energy stored by a body by virtue of its position. For example, if I have a body and I do a positive work on this body, supposing I apply an external force on this body and move this body, let us say through a displacement of dx, then I perform a positive work on this body. The work done is given by the force applied dot displacement. Both are vectors. In terms of vectors, we have learned this in 11th standard chapter 7, rotational motion. So force dot ds, that is the dot product of force vector and the displacement vector. In this case I have considered the displacement as dx. Okay, so the dot product of force vector and the displacement vector gives us the work done. So let us say the work done in this case is a positive work done. So this work done is stored as the potential energy of this particular body, which is displaced through a displacement of dx. This is the basics of potential energy. Now we have already learned what is gravitational potential energy. 11th standard, if you remember, what do you mean by gravitational potential energy? What was gravitational potential energy? Supposing the body was placed at a zero height, that is ground level, and then that body is raised to a height of h. It is brought to a height of h. Then since it has you are doing a work, right? You are raising this body to a height of h. You are doing a positive work over here. So the same work is stored as the potential energy of this body, that is given as mgh, where m is the mass of the body, g is acceleration due to gravity, and h is the height through which it is raised. This was gravitational potential energy. Again the definition remains same. The body the energy stored by the body by virtue of its position. You change the position by performing certain work here, and the same work done is stored as the potential energy of that body. So similar kind is electrostatic potential energy. Okay, so now let us learn what is electrostatic potential energy in detail. So let us consider we have a charge. Now this charge is a stationary charge. Our charges are not moving as yet. We are dealing with electrostatics. We are dealing with the charges at rest. So still here also I am going to consider a charge which is stationary. Let us say I have a plus q charge which is a stationary charge. So it's quite obvious from the first chapter we have learned that wherever we have charge, around that charge there is going to be an electric field. Field is the region. What is an electric field? Supposing if I leave a small test charge in this region, it is going to experience a force. So the region in which a small test charge is going to experience a force, that region is called as electric field. This we have already learnt in chapter number 1. So since I have a positive charge placed over here, there is going to be an electric field around it. So what I will do over here is I'll take a small test charge. Let us say I take a small test charge of plus q. If you notice, both the charges that I have considered, that is the source charge and the test charge. I hope you are now aware with the terms I am using over here. Source charge is the one which is producing the electric field. Test charge is the one which is testing the presence of electric field in that region. Okay. So if I place a small test charge plus q in the electric field of this capital plus q charge, okay, and if I move this charge from, let us say, point R to point P, if I move this small test charge plus q, I keep it over here and move it from R to P. So let me mark. Okay, I move this small test charge from R to P. Now obviously what has to be done over here? A work has to be done. Why the work has to be done? Since both the charges are positive, q as well as small q, the source charge as well as test charge, both are positive charges. That means both are like charges. And if both are like charges, there is going to be force of repulsion between them. There is going to be a force of repulsion between them. The source charge is going to push it away. But natural, right? There is a electrostatic force between the two charges. Both the charges are like charges. So the source charge is going to try and push this test charge away because of the force of repulsion. But still, you are applying an external force and taking it towards the source charge. This charge is trying to move away, but still you are applying an external force. You are applying an external force over here and trying to get it closer to the source charge. That means you are doing a positive work over here. Now I hope you know the difference between positive work and negative work. Supposing I have a body and this body is naturally, okay, supposing there is a slope, there is an inclined plane and the body is placed over here. Now it's but natural that body will try and slide down. Okay, the body is going to slide down because of its own weight. Okay. Now supposing you apply a force in this direction, is your force useful? Your force is not useful. The work you are doing to push it down is not useful because anyways this body is going to go down. Still you are trying to push it down. That means your work over here was not required. So such work done, wherever your work is not required but still you are doing the work, such work done is a negative work. Now supposing there is a slide like this, there is a body which is placed on this slide. Okay, the body is naturally trying to go down, but you are trying to pull it on top. In this case, the body is trying to slide down, but still you are forcing it to go on top. That means you are putting efforts over here. You are actually doing some work. And in this case, the work done is said to be positive work. This is your positive work. This is your negative work. This is the concept from 11th standard. So coming back to the main topic now, since we are moving the test charge from R to P against the force of repulsion, you are performing a positive work over here. So you have applied an external force over here. Okay, to move this test charge from R to P against the repulsive force. Now remember over here, the external force that you are applying should be just enough to counter the repulsive electrostatic force. That means what? Supposing the electrostatic force acting on this charge plus Q, the force of repulsion which is acting on this charge plus Q is 5 Newton. Then the external force you are applying to get it down from R to P should be also almost 5 Newton. It shouldn't be more than that. We do not want a net force over here. When there will be a net force, supposing the force you apply to get it down is 10 Newton. In this case, what will happen? A body or this charge is pulled on top by 5 Newton with 5 Newton force, and it is pulled down by 10 Newton. Then there will be a net force. There will be a net force acting on this charge, which is 10 minus 5, which is 5 Newton. We do not want this net force. The force which we apply, the external force which we apply over here should just be enough to counter the repulsive force. Just to counter the repulsive force. So, your force external should be equal to minus F electrostatics. What does this mean? Supposing your external force which you apply is 5 Newton, then the repulsive force should be 5 Newton in the opposite direction. See, there is a negative sign. Both sides we have vectors. What does this equal to sign tells us? Equal to sign means the magnitude of the two vectors is same. 5 Newton, 5 Newton. Negative sign tells us that the direction of the two forces is opposite. One is positive, other one is going to be negative. So, I will repeat my statement. So, remember, in bringing the charge from R to P, we apply this external force. Okay, and this external force should be just enough to counter the repulsive force. Electrostatic repulsive force. Okay, so we can say that F external is equal to minus F electrostatic, which means what over here? There will be no net force. Okay, write over here no net force, because eventually this 5 and minus 5 is going to cancel out each other and the body is going to move without any acceleration. That means there will be no net force or no acceleration. There won't be any acceleration when the charge is brought from R to P. So now let us find out what is going to be the total work done in getting this charge plus Q from R to P. Okay, so what is the formula for work done? Work done is given by the dot product of the force applied on the body and the displacement that is happening of the body. Correct? The force dot displacement is work done. So using this formula, I am going to find out the work done in getting this charge from R to P. So now in this case, I am going to make use of integration. Why? Because I want to find out the total work done in getting it from R to P. So what I will do? I will find out small work done and then I will add it together. That is basically doing integration. Okay. So I am going to integrate this path from R to P. Okay, in order to find out the total work done in getting that charge from R to P. Okay, so let me write down the total work done in getting the charge from R to P will be integration of force dot displacement. So who is performing this work? Which force is performing this work? This external force is performing the work. Correct? So force will be the external force, because external force is getting it from R to P. Right? So force dot displacement. Let us say that the displacement happening from R to P is dr. Displacement happening from R to P is dr. Okay, so let's define the limits of integration also. So this integration is going to happen from where to where? From R to P. You can also express this work done in terms of the repulsive force, because we know that F external is nothing but negative of the repulsive force, electrostatic force of repulsion. Correct? So we can also say this is equal to integration from R to P. Instead of F external, we can put minus of Fe. Just replace this F external by minus of Fe, because the external force is equal to negative of electrostatic force, dot dr. Okay, so this is going to give us the work done in getting the charge from R to P. Now we know that the work done in moving the body or displacing the body is stored as its potential energy. So basically this work done will be stored as the potential energy of, what is the body over here? The body is nothing but the charge. The charge is displaced from R to P. Correct? The charge is moved through a displacement of dr. So it will be stored as the potential energy of this charge. So we can say that this work done against the electrostatic repulsive force gets stored as potential energy. Let's say that this work done against the repulsive force. This is work done against the repulsive force, right? So this work done against the repulsive force is stored as the potential energy of the charge plus Q. So now what we can say from here? We can say that every point in an electric field is going to possess certain electrostatic potential energy. Correct, right? So if I consider a charge Q, there is going to be an electric field around this charge. Correct? So every point in this electric field, every single point on this electric field is going to possess certain electrostatic potential energy. Why? Because whenever you place a charge at that point, obviously that charge must be brought from somewhere. So the work done in getting that charge from whatever initial position to this particular point will be stored as the potential energy of this charge. So at this point there will be certain potential energy. If we talk about this charge, supposing I place charge Q2 over here, if we talk about potential energy of a charge at this point, obviously we have got it somewhere, got it to this point from somewhere. So just forget about the initial point, but you have got it from somewhere, right? So the work is done in getting it till over here. So this work done will be stored as the potential energy over here. So we can say that every point in an electric field, every single point in an electric field, okay, with a charge Q is going to possess a certain electrostatic potential energy. Okay, so if we talk about our original example over here, we talk about this original example of ours. That is, in getting a charge of plus Q from R to P, we said that the work is being done, right? So basically here also there is going to be certain potential energy. Let us say potential energy at R is UR, electrostatic potential energy, and there is going to be certain potential energy at this point also, that is UP, because obviously at this point when you got the charge, you got it from certain point, right? So work is done. In getting the charge at R also, certain work is being done, and that work done is stored as the potential energy at R. Correct? Similarly, you are getting it till P. That means the work is done in getting the charge till P. That work done is stored as the potential energy at point P. So at every point there is going to be a electrostatic potential energy. Okay? So we can say that the work done in getting the charge from R to P is nothing but the potential difference between the 2 points, or the electrostatic potential difference between the 2 points. So more potential energy will be at point P minus the potential energy at R. So change in potential energy, or the change in electrostatic potential energy, is nothing but the work done in getting the charge from R to P. How did we get this? We said that every point in the electric field is going to possess a electrostatic potential energy. And if you are moving a charge from one point to another, the change in that potential energy will be nothing but the work done in moving that charge from between those 2 points. So now let us define the electrostatic potential energy difference, that is delta U, which we were talking about. Okay, so what is delta U? What is delta U? So supposing we have a charge, let us say Q, let us discuss it one more time to understand it in a better way. So if I have plus Q charge, if I take a small test charge plus Q and get it to some point R, okay, so the work done in getting this charge to point R will be stored as the potential energy at that point R. Now I get the same charge, okay, let us say from here, and I place it, same amount of charge, and I place it at point P. So potential energy at point P becomes, let us say, UP, because the work done in getting this charge from that point to P is stored as the potential energy. So it is UP. Then supposing I take a charge of plus Q and move it from R to P, from this point to this point. So the work done in moving that charge from R to P will be nothing but the change in potential energy, that is final potential energy minus initial potential energy. This is what is the potential energy difference, or electrostatic potential energy difference between the 2 points. So now see, the electrostatic potential difference between the 2 points, the electrostatic potential difference between the 2 points for, I am just modifying it, for electric field of arbitrary charge configuration, meaning for an electric field of plus Q, the electrostatic potential difference between the 2 points for arbitrary charge distribution, that is for plus Q, is what? Is the work required to be done by the external force. Obviously this work will be done by the external force, right? External force will be moving it from R to P. So it is the work done by the external force in moving the charge Q from one point to another point, that is from R to P, without accelerating. What does this mean? What does this without accelerating mean? We had discussed the condition that your external force should be just enough to counter the repulsive force. If your repulsive force is 5 Newton, your external force should be 5 Newton only in the opposite direction. There should not be any acceleration. We have discussed it. No net force, no acceleration. Your external force should be just enough to counter the repulsive force, just equal to the repulsive force, but in opposite direction. This is what is the definition of electrostatic potential energy difference. Now if we select this point R to be infinity, it means supposing we were getting this charge from R to P, right, and we found out the work done, and that work done was nothing but the potential energy difference between these 2 points, that is R and P. So now if I choose this point R to be infinity, that means supposing I get a charge, supposing I get this charge from infinity, to this point P, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? So in that case, the potential energy at R will be what? Now my R point is infinity. So potential energy which is very much far away from charge Q is going to be equal to 0. Okay, so in that case, what is going to be the work done? Work done in getting the charge from infinity to point P will be equal to what? It will be the potential energy at point P minus potential energy at point R. That is, we have considered it as infinity, and potential energy at infinity is considered as 0. So wherever you have charge, okay, very much away from it, the potential energy is considered as 0. Okay, so this will be 0. That means what? It means that the work done in moving the charge from infinity to that point P will be nothing but what? It will be the potential energy at point P. This is going to be the potential energy at point P. So when I talked about potential energy at point P and R in the previous section, and I told you from somewhere I am getting the charge and placing it at point P, that somewhere was infinity. Okay, so supposing I consider this point. If I consider this point is, let us say, A. I want to find out the potential energy at this point A. I want to find out UA. What I'll have to do? Take a small test charge and get it from infinity to this particular point. From infinity to this point to place, and the work done in getting this charge plus Q from infinity to point A will be nothing but the potential energy at point A. That is the electrostatic potential energy at that point A. So now let us define the electrostatic potential energy. So potential energy of charge Q at a point. So if you place a charge Q at a certain point, let us say P. So potential energy of this charge at this point P. Okay, wait. UP. Okay. So potential energy of this charge Q at this point P, let us say UP, in the presence of the field due to a charge configuration. So let us say there is a charge of plus Q which is producing an electric field. Okay, is the work done by the external force in bringing the charge Q from infinity to that point. So if this particular charge is brought from infinity to that particular point, if this charge is brought from infinity to that particular point, the work done by the external force, obviously the external force is going to get it over here. So the work done by the external force to get it from infinity to point P is going to be stored as the potential energy of that charge at that point. That is electrostatic potential energy of that charge at that point. This is the definition of electrostatic potential energy. Now if you remember, we had learned about conservative forces and non-conservative forces in 11th standard. So if you try to recollect what are the conservative forces and non-conservative forces, and if I ask you right now, what is an electrostatic force? Is it a conservative force or a non-conservative force? What will be your answer? So you have to answer this in the homework. Okay, so you have to write in your book, is the electrostatic force a conservative force or a non-conservative force, and you have to justify your answer. If it is a conservative force, why? If it is a non-conservative force, why again? Okay, so you are going to do this as a homework. So now let us look at this note. Let us see when the electrostatic potential energy is going to increase and when the potential energy is going to decrease. So obviously, more the work done, more will be the potential energy, because we have just now seen the work done on a charge to move it from one point to another point is stored as the potential energy of that charge, right? So more the work done, more the positive work done, more will be the electrostatic potential energy. So in which case the potential energy will be more? Supposing I have a source charge of plus q. I have a source charge of plus q and I take a test charge of similar kind, that is positive plus small q, and try to get it closer. I apply my external force and try to get it closer to the source charge. What is going to happen over here? Will this be a positive work or negative work? Obviously it is going to be a positive work. Why? Because there will be a force of repulsion over here. Both are positive charges. That means the source charge is going to try and repel this test charge. The electrostatic force is going to be applied away. But still, your external force is trying to take it closer against its wish. So the work done over here is positive. So that is how your potential energy is going to get increased. As you go closer and closer, the potential energy is going to get increased. The potential energy is going to get increased as you take the like charges closer to each other. So I can say that number one, when like charges are brought closer, what will happen? Since the like charges are brought closer, they will try to move apart, but still you are going to take it closer against their wish. That means you are doing a positive work. That means as you take it closer and closer, the potential energy is going to increase because your work done is increasing over here. More and more work is being done. Okay? Or the second possibility is what? The second possibility is what over here? If you have a positive charge and you take a negative test charge, what will happen over here? The electrostatic force will be acting in this direction because there will be a force of attraction. One is positive, one is negative. So there will be attraction. So if you apply your external force outwards, then in this case what will happen? You are doing a positive work again, because naturally it is trying to move towards the source charge because of force of attraction, but still you are trying to pull it away. So that means you are doing a positive work. That means here also your electrostatic potential energy is going to increase. So I can say when unlike charges are taken apart, and the unlike charges are taken apart. Okay, now let us come at this part and see when the electrostatic potential energy is going to decrease. Obviously when the work done is going to be negative. So supposing I have a positive test charge, okay, and when I take a positive source charge and apply the external force like this, positive test charge and apply external force like this. Now see, both are positive. So anyways, the repulsive force is going to act in this direction, outwards, because they are going to repel each other. Still you are trying to pull it outside. Is it required? Is your work required over here? No. The efforts you are putting is waste. It means your work done over here is negative. That means what is going to happen to the potential energy? The potential energy is going to decrease. Okay, so we can say that when the light charges are carried away from each other, that is when the potential energy is decreased. Second possibility, supposing I have plus q, I take minus q. Now electrostatic force is going to act like this because attraction will be there. Still your external force is applied in this direction, again a negative work, so the potential energy is going to decrease. So second point will be what? When unlike charges are brought closer, the potential energy is going to decrease. So now we already discussed what is electrostatic potential energy. So now we are free to go on to the first topic or the first part of the chapter, that is electrostatic potential. Now let us discuss what is electrostatic potential. So let us consider a source charge again. Let us say the source charge is plus q. Okay, I am placing this source charge, let us say, at point O, origin. Okay, I am placing it at point O. Let us say A and B are the 2 points in its electric field. So obviously this is a charge, there is going to be an electric field around it. So I'll consider 2 points in the electric field of this source charge. Okay, let us say the points are A and B. So let us say this is B and this over here is A. So if I place a small test charge, let us say plus q, small q, and move it from A to B, the same concept which we just now discussed. Okay, and the work is being done by the external force over here. Obviously I am applying the external force to move it from A to B. Okay, and the work is done in this case, let us say that the work done is V, A to B. The work is done in moving the charge plus q from A to B, and this work is done against the repulsive force, correct? Because both are positive charges, they will try to move away. Still we are applying the external force and trying to get the charge plus q from A to B. So in this case, the potential difference, now we have come across this term in 10th standard, correct? What do you understand by potential difference? So in this case, the potential difference between these 2 points, A and B, will be given by what? The potential difference V will be equal to the potential at B minus potential at A. And that will be how much? That is going to be the work done in moving the charge from A to B divided by the charge which you are moving, that is plus q. Okay, so we do not write this plus usually, so q. So the work done in moving the charge from A to B divided by the charge itself which you are moving, okay, not the source charge, the test charge which you are moving, is going to give you the potential difference between the 2 points. The previous concept was what? It was electrostatic potential energy. What was potential energy? Only the work done. The work done in moving the charge from one point to another point was stored as electrostatic potential energy. But if you divide that work done by the charge, what you are going to get is electrostatic potential between the 2 points. So now let us define the electrostatic potential. So this is the definition, that is, if we have a charge q and if I place a small test charge of plus 1 coulomb and I move it from one point to another point, let us say from A to B. The work done in moving, let us say, is from W from A to B. Then the work done in moving that charge from A to B divided by the charge itself, that is plus 1 coulomb, is going to be the potential difference between the 2 points. Now see the definition. The potential difference between the 2 points in an electric field. Whose electric field? The electric field of this source charge. Okay, so potential difference between these 2 points, that is point A and point B, in the electric field of the source charge is defined as the amount of work done. It is the amount of work done in moving a unit positive charge from one point to another point against the electrostatic force. This is going to be the definition of potential difference between the 2 points. Two things you have to remember over here is that first thing is the test charge should be very small. This test charge which you are using should be very small so that it does not disturb the distribution of the source charge. It should not alter the electric field of the source charge. Point number 1. Second point is that the external force which you apply on this test charge should just balance out the repulsive force. It should not be very much bigger as compared to the electrostatic force of repulsion. It should just balance out the electrostatic force so that there is no acceleration. Acceleration should be equal to 0 in this case. This care has to be taken. So the SI unit of potential difference is volt. Okay, so what is 1 volt? Supposing I take a charge of plus 1 coulomb and I move it from one point to the other, and the work done in moving it from one point to the other is 1 joule, then the potential difference between these 2 points is going to be 1 volt. The potential difference between these 2 points is going to be 1 volt. So now, how to put it in proper words? So potential difference between the 2 points is 1 volt if 1 joule of work has to be done in moving a positive charge of 1 coulomb, that is plus 1 coulomb charge, from one point to the other against electrostatic force. So since both are positive, there will be electrostatic force of repulsion. So you have to do this work against this electrostatic force of repulsion. Okay, you have to apply the external force and perform the work against this electrostatic force of repulsion. So we have the formula for potential difference. That is VA minus VB is nothing but the work done in moving the charge from B to A divided by the charge itself. So if 1 joule of work is done to move a charge of 1 coulomb, okay, then in that case the potential difference is going to be 1 volt between the 2 points A and B. So now let us come to electric potential or electrostatic potential. So now what will be electrostatic potential? Just now we saw that if I have a source charge plus Q and if I consider 2 points A and B in the electric field of this source charge and I move a test charge of small plus Q from A to B, then the work done in moving the charge from A to B divided by the charge gives me the potential difference between the 2 points. It is VB minus VA. Now, if I consider this point A to be at infinity, if I consider this point to be at infinity, then in that case, the potential at infinity is considered as 0. Always remember, the potential at infinity is considered as 0. So how this formula will change? It will be VB minus V infinity, potential at infinity, because the work is being done in moving the charge from infinity to point B. The external force is being applied to move the charge from infinity to B. Okay, so work is done to move the charge from infinity to B divided by the charge itself, that is Q. So we know that the potential at infinity is 0. So what will be VB in this case? VB in this case is going to be the work done in moving the charge from infinity to that point B, divided by the charge itself. Okay, so how do we define the electric potential? We can say that electric potential at a point, now we are talking about point B, that is VB, potential at point B in an electric field, is the amount of work done in moving a unit positive charge from infinity to that point against electrostatic force. So if I consider this charge to be of +1 coulomb, and what will this formula be? Instead of Q, I'll use +1 coulomb. So this is going to be the work done in moving the charge from infinity to that point. So again, I'll read the definition for you. The electric potential at that point, in this case at point B, okay, in an electric field is what? It is the amount of work done in moving the charge from infinity to that point. So what is that charge? A unit positive charge from infinity to that point against the electrostatic force. So this is going to be the definition of electric potential. So basically, the SI unit of electric potential, as we discussed, the potential difference or the potential at a point is volt. So we can define 1 volt from here also. So what will be 1 volt? So electric potential at a point is going to be 1 volt. If 1 joule of work has to be done in moving a positive charge of 1 coulomb from infinity to that point. So if I consider this point A to be infinity and I get a charge of +1 coulomb, if I get a charge of +1 coulomb from infinity to that point, to point B, let us say, and the work done in getting the charge from infinity to that point is 1 joule, then the potential at that point, that is VB, is going to be 1 volt. So how does that come? Because we know that VB is equal to what? VB is going to be what? It is the work done in getting the charge from infinity to that point divided by the charge itself. So if the work done is 1 joule and the charge is 1 coulomb, in that case the potential is going to be 1 volt of potential. This is going to be the definition of volt, which is the SI unit of potential or potential difference. So any of the two definitions you can use to define 1 volt, not an issue. That was for the potential difference. Here it is potential at a point. Okay.